Welcome back, guys. So got a little project I want to show you guys that I've been working on for a long time, right? It's been months in coming. And I'll tell you all a little bit about why. But first I'm trying to get properly caffeinated. Let me set that over there out of the way. So Armed Prepared Citizen. I am a big advocate of you training up under things such as my buddy NC Scout and his Scout course. I think that is extraordinarily applicable for the armed citizen for a couple of reasons. We're going somewhere with all this, so you short attention span folks, just either click off or tighten up your drawers. You'll be all right. I think it's applicable for a couple of reasons. We're going to be doing a lot of observation. You'll be doing a lot of, for lack of a better word, reconnaissance. Seeing what's going on around you. Subdivision, rural homestead, very rural bug out retreat, whatever. I think the likelihood of door kicking direct action is going to be pretty low on the list. If it's not, it should be. If you don't understand why it should be, go watch Cousin Dick's video and he'll give you some good thoughts on why that shouldn't be high on your list of things to do. That's it. Another thing is, if I got to engage somebody that I know is a bad guy, I want to take him out, it's a threat to me and mine, I would much rather do it from a distance, at a place and time of my own choosing, and in a manner of which they never know what's coming, and any other people that they've brought to the party that I somehow don't manage to get aren't able to determine where I'm even at. Adds a little bit of a safety cushion for yours truly. Now, that's going to involve breaking out something like this, or this, which is why I've got those two particular tools for very particular purposes, as I've discussed before. Maybe I'll do another updated video on those. But for now, if I got to use those, I want to maximize my ability to not be seen, not be found. So I put together something, that's what the point of this video is, and I'm going to show you, that I think is a good thing for the armed prepared citizen to have. Now there's a lot of ways you can go about this. You do your own flavor. I'm just going to show you mine and give you some of the reasons why. One of the best things you can have to remain really hidden is something along the lines of a ghillie suit, right? You've all seen them in movies and such and pictures. What a lot of people don't understand, there's a lot of different variations on the ghillie concept. You've got full-on head-to-toe ghillie suits, you've got stalking suits, you've got variations depending on what you're doing. Some are meant for more upright movement, some are meant for you low crawling on your belly for 300 or 400 yards to get in a position. They're all set up differently for those tasks. There's not a one size fits all when it comes to such a thing. I put together my version for what I'm going to be doing and how I intend to do it. I'm going to show it to you. So here's what I got. Now, just going over the specs on this. So what I started out with, the inside, or the base, is made out of a mesh material, right? Now, any of you that have bought my concealment covers from me over at UW Gear, this is that same material. What I did was, I sent some of it to a buddy of mine, and he made me this top out of it, which is basically the same as his regular tops that he makes. However, I had him shorten the body a little bit, shorten the sleeves and make them like 2/3 length sleeves instead of full length sleeves, and then left the front completely open. When I got it from him, I then proceeded to add 2 quick release buckles in the middle. I then took and added on, if I can find my spot here, I added on, let's see if you can see it, some fishnet, right? And then onto the fishnet, I added my jute. I got the jute and the fishnet as a kit. I think it was from Ghillie Suit Warehouse. Let me double check, and whichever place it was, there will be a link to it in the description box. And I got a whole kit from them. It was 4 packs of jute that you can, I think, remember, pick and choose the colors, and then the netting. So I cut out the netting that I needed, and some of the netting I stitched on, and some of it I just used good old-fashioned shoe goo. And you guys that have ever been through sniper school, y'all know what shoe goo is. So some of it I had to shoe goo on, like around the arms, because that's kind of hard to sew around, and then sewed it on in other applicable places. So what I ended up with is basically like a jacket that I can put on, and the 3/4 length sleeves mean that the sleeve stops about right here on my forearm. But as the jute hangs down, I'm trying to get in the camera, it'll hang down just to my hands. Now I'll have a BDU top on underneath this, and then my gloves. So once I get down in position, that's going to cover everything. You won't see my hands. That'll be taken care of. The reason I wanted this open in the front and just have these 2 buckles is so that I can wear it over gear underneath. I can use this on top of whatever else I've got on without having to take stuff off. It gives me a lot of room underneath. I can expand this out if I need to, tighten it up, etc. It only comes down, well, you can't see it on camera, but it's just below the camera right there, right at waist level. So it doesn't go down below my waist. However, the ghillie and the jute in the back of it, rather, hangs down just below, say, butt cheek level. And then when I bring the hood up, I've got that. So, as you can see, this breaks up that head and shoulders outline really good. And if I'm proned out and got my face covered like I should, it's not going to be real easy to see this. So don't think about that on camera. The reason I went with the mesh on the bottom is I'm in the deep south. It's hot. I could have went with a BDU top, which is traditionally what guys make ghillie suits out of. But a BDU top on top of everything else is just, it's ridiculously hot. This is going to be hot as it is, right? Make no mistake. With all this jute on here, it's going to be hot. The mesh just, it gives me every bit of breathability that I can get without having that solid BDU top on there. So for me, that serves my purpose better. By going with the length that I have, it also allows me to move through the woods wearing it a little bit easier. I won't have anything on my legs. This isn't meant to be a full ghillie suit. This is just more of a ghillie stocking top kind of thing that gives me a 2/3 solution to the situation, right? Now, what else did I want to cover with you? I did leave, so you'll see there's an open section right here. I didn't put netting and jute right there because when I'm up, the arms are covered, but it lets my arms bend without having the jute bunch up in there. And then when I prone out, it lets them move, and you're still covered, but there's not a big clump of jute right in the bend of your arm. Doesn't change the concealment ability at all. The other thing I did was I only did the jute on the front down just a little ways. Now I've got extra netting down here. I can add more, but honestly with this in the front, remember I'm going to be proned out if I'm using this, or squatting at a bare minimum. So I don't want a whole lot here, because that'll still let me get a good stock weld with the rifle and not have too much bunched up. And again, coverage wise, that's still more than enough to cover and break up my outline. Which again, picture it with my face is properly camoed. I've got my BDU topping gear on underneath. You'll see that in part 2 of this video. That's why this is part 1. I have already soaked it in permethrin so that I've got good repellency from all the things out there that want to drink your blood. Is it heavy and bulky? Yes and no. Anything like this is going to be somewhat heavy and bulky. It's just the nature of the beast. It is what it is. You got to suck it up and deal with it if you want this. It's not as heavy or bulky as what some suits are. Now there's other ways you can go about this. There's things you can buy that are already kind of pre-made like this, like some of the knockoff Cobra hoods and whatnot, which honestly I wouldn't rule one of those out. That might be a good option for you to get and add your own jute to. Makes a good impromptu thing. I can take this, roll it up, strap it onto the outside of my ruck, go to where I need to go. Then when I get there, when I stash the ruck, take this off, put it on, move into that final firing position, that observation position, wherever, and I'm golden. A couple of benefits. The netting gives good protection from bugs and such. So does the jute, but then having it treated like I've done, even more so. So that's going to go a long way in allowing me to stay in position without worrying about getting ate up. Don't underestimate that as a pro and positive aspect to doing this. So that's really it, guys. That's kind of my little short shtick on this. I wanted to show this to you. You know, I'm trying to look, make sure there's nothing I forgot to show you. What else was I going to tell you? I think that was it, really, just for part 1. I'm going to do a part 2. I'll follow it up and we'll show you it actually in use, and we'll see how well it actually works or doesn't work. The only other thing I've got to do is go drag it through the mud and the dirt a few times, kind of get it dirtied up, get it toned down and taken on that earthy tone. But I wanted to get it treated and everything first, so I'll get it dirtied up. We'll get it out in the woods on the second video and show you how it works. But so yeah, this is my version of a Armed Prepared Citizen concealment top. I don't really call it a ghillie suit because it's not a ghillie suit. It's just something that if I want to make it harder for people to do painful things to me, that's it, because it's going to make it harder for them to see me. And I want to be hard to see. I don't want to be running around duking it out with people. I'd rather be over yonder somewhere, take care of party business, and not ever even be seen or known that I was there. That's kind of my preferred method for lots of reasons, which we can get into another video. So there you go for part 1. It's a teaser. We'll follow it up with part 2 in the future. You guys take care, stay safe. I'll see you later.